First day of November. Happy November. A word for you today. What you will do in heaven. I think it's a little misleading because we don't really know. Revelation chapter 21 verse 1 says, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea." Well, that doesn't really tell us anything about what we're going to do in heaven, does it? But what he's saying is earth and heaven's going to be different. They're passing away. So it's going to be different than it is now. So we can expect what we're going to do in heaven is going to be maybe a little bit different than what we're doing now. What will we do in heaven? Well, the Bible doesn't tell us, but there are some hints. Adam and Eve lived a perfect life in a perfect garden. And they had jobs. And what was that job? Was to take care of the garden and to rule over the plants and the animals on earth. They loved doing that. They were totally fulfilled. It was a perfect world until sin came into the world. They disobeyed God. And so God He's going to do away with earth and heaven and create new ones. Well, it only stands to reason then that what we're going to be doing is be something new. In this new earth and heaven, you've seen pictures of people floating around on clouds, playing violins or flutes. Incredibly boring, isn't it? That's heaven. It doesn't sound very exciting to me. Well, that goes totally against anything that the Bible says. See, Adam and Eve found pleasure and fulfillment in jobs that they did. So I think that gives us an idea that we're going to have jobs in heaven. Some people are going, oh, no. No. If you've never had a job that you love going to, that you wake up in the morning, you can't get there quick enough, that's what it's about. In heaven, we will have a purpose, we'll have a meaning, and everything we do will have purpose and meaning, and we will love doing it. It'll be rewarding, and we'll enjoy being with people. In John chapter 5, verse 17, Jesus tells us, "My Father is always at work to this very day, and I too am working." God is working today. He's working. Jesus is too. So why would we think we won't work? Look at 1 Corinthians 13:12. "Now we see but a poor reflection. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known." There's going to be relationships. I am going to know fully, even as I am fully known. We're going to have relationships. We're going to know one another in heaven. We're going to be working, but it's not going to be a dread work. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fulfilling. It's going to be wonderful. Let me ask you, do you have a relationship with somebody who you just want to be with them? You don't care what you do. You can sit around and do nothing. You can go out and work hard. It doesn't matter what you do. You just want to be with them. Well, now that's the idea of what we're going to do in heaven. We get to heaven, we're going to see Jesus. And we see Jesus, that's all that's going to matter. And whatever we do is going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. But the question is, do you know that you'll see Jesus? Do you know that? Billy Graham was 92 years old and struggling with Parkinson's. And there was a group of people in North Carolina that had thrown him a banquet to recognize him and honor him right before his 93rd birthday. And he really didn't want to go because he was struggling with this disease, but they encouraged him to go. And so he went, and a lot of wonderful things were said about him. And then here are his words. Here's what he said after that. He said, "I'm reminded today of Albert Einstein, the great physicist, who this month has been honored by Time magazine as the man of the century. Einstein was once traveling from Princeton on a train when the conductor came down the aisle punching the tickets of every passenger. When he came to Einstein reached in his vest pocket. He couldn't find his ticket. So he reached in his trouser pockets. It wasn't there. He looked in his briefcase but couldn't find it. Then he looked in the seat beside him. He still couldn't find his train ticket. The conductor said, "Dr. Einstein, I know who you are. We all know who you are. I'm sure you bought a ticket. Don't worry about it." Einstein nodded appreciatively. The conductor continued on down the aisle, punching people's tickets. As he was ready to move to the next car, he turned around and saw Dr. Einstein down on his hands and knees, looking under his seat for his ticket. The conductor hurried down the aisle back to Dr. Einstein. Dr. Einstein, don't worry. I know you are who you are. No problem. You don't need a ticket. I'm sure you bought one. Einstein looked at him and said, young man, I too know who I am. You see, the problem is I don't know where I'm going. Brilliant man, but he didn't know where he was going. There's a lot of brilliant people who won't know where they're going. Do you know where you're going to go? Do you know that you'll be seeing Jesus someday? Billy Graham went on. He said, see the suit I'm wearing? It's a brand new suit. My children and my grandchildren were telling me I've gotten a little slovenly in my old age. I used to be a bit more fastidious. So I went out and bought a new suit for this luncheon and one more occasion. You know what that occasion is? This is the suit in which I will be buried in. But when you hear I'm dead, I don't want you to immediately remember the suit I'm wearing. I want you to remember this. I not only know who I am, I also know where I'm going. It says, life without God is like an unsharpened pencil. There's no point to it. We may not know what we're going to do in heaven, but that's really not the important thing. The important thing is knowing that we're going to go to heaven. Have a good day.